Three, two, one, bro.
What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Murphy. I'm one half of the Brothers Murph. It's time to get up onto this shelf with What's on the Shelf? This is a segment where we just kind of go through the game collection and see what we have. What games have survived over the years or for the days or months of their new acquisitions. And this week we've got some kind of a wild mix of both newer and older games to us and different styles of games and things. So I think we should start. Let's do this thing. First up on the list is Rococo, which is making headlines right now because Rococo, for a long time, they wanted to bring it back and people said, no. But now Rococo is getting reprinted with new art by Ian O'Toole, which is like, we were talking about this and we're like, man, this game has like pretty solid art on the cards and stuff, and it's kind of very pretty and elegant. So didn't think it would need like an artistic upgrade, but at the same time, if Ian O'Toole is going to do something with it, like that's probably going to be pretty cool. So I'm excited to see that. This game was gifted to us because for a long time it was out of print and was very difficult to find and very unaffordable. So luckily a friend gifted it to us because this is one that we would play every so often at our local board game cafe. They had a copy of it and we were always like, man, I really want to like, let me play it at home. Let me look at it. It's like $150. I'm not going to get that. And now it's going to be coming back. So in this game, what you're doing is you are basically helping plan for a party. A big party's going on at this mansion, and you want to kind of have your hands in the mix for making this party pop off. You want to touch as many pieces of this party as possible. So things you can do are make garments for people to wear. You can make dresses and coats and things for all of the guests and hopefully have them all throughout the house so that no matter where they look, they're seeing one of your beautiful pieces and it makes you very reputable. Other things you can do is you can help fund decorations and entertainment elements. You can put beautiful statues out front, or you can make sure that there's a cellist in the room because that room really just needs a cellist to really make the party go ever so perfectly. And at the top, of course, you want to have some fireworks. If you want to have a proper party, you can fund some of those fireworks and stuff. So basically, you are trying to invest in this party for your own future financial gains. It's all networking to you. And it's just really fun because I love the kind of heartache over your workers and things that you have available, which are going to be represented with these cards. You're going to play 3 every round. If you get a new employee, you can play a new one. And there's different levels. There's like masters who can basically go anywhere, do anything because they're very well known. And they've got journeymen who have been at it for a while. And they can do most things, but they can't touch everything. They can make a lot of garments, but the finest garments still have to be made by the master. And then you have kind of apprentices who are the gophers. They need to go over here and get more materials and thread and lace and bolts of fabric to make the garments and stuff. They can't go up here into the fancy rooms. They certainly cannot go see the queen. That's crazy. They haven't even got their feet wet. And so the way you're playing out these employees, and they have like little perks and stuff, is super duper interesting. And this is a game that at the beginning, when I first played, we kind of played maybe early in our career of board gaming, it like broke my brain. It was very hard. And I played for a very long time, was very, very horrible at this game. And I finally started to put it together now that we own it and everything. But Rococo is super fun. It's got a cool theme about like putting on a fancy party, and you're just like one kind of, there's all these different people who are like sort of like arriving on the scene. They're like, yo, I make dope coats. You got to come down here, the dope coat guy, and so on like that. So that is Rococo. Check that game out. This is a big, I'm going to grab from the bottom. It's lift with the knees and support your back. Boom. This is Zombicide Black Plague. So this is a game from Cool Mini or Not, or CMON or Come On, or whatever the hell they want to be called today. So CMON specializes in this type of games. Bunch of dudes on a map, big minis, zombies, and things like that. And this is a game that we have had over the years many different versions of. This helped us get into the hobby. We started off with Zombicide 1 OG, the original, and then Season 2 with like Prison Outbreak, and then They had like the Toxic Mall. And then they started moving into old-timey stuff with Black Plague. And now Black Plague is the only Zombicide game we still have. We got rid of all the rest of our Zombicide stuff because Zombicide Black Plague takes it up a notch. So like I said, in this game, you're going to have all these different scenarios. There's ones you can find online that have been homebrewed or a book that provides them. And you're going to set out certain tiles and have different objectives according to whatever you're doing. You're usually trying to flip over certain objective tokens, not get killed by all the zombies that are going to be populating from these spawn zones every round, and you're just killing zombies, chucking dice. It's super fun, and this game was really an important piece to us becoming board gamers because this is like just a big indulgent game where things can get huge and you can make up your own scenarios, which Nick has done many times that we've played. And it's very satisfying because you like level up your person to get new abilities, and you can find items and search stuff, and like this was just all new territory for both of us when we were early on, and so this is still a game we keep around. Zombicide is still super fun. Like we used to think we were more kind of Amerithrashy type folks, and now I'm like, no, I'm just gonna be a dry Euro, but something like Zombicide is still fun to play. We bust this out once or twice a year, and it's an awesome time. It's just great. Just chucking dice, hoping for the best, killing zombies. There's a ton of like fan servicey, stretch goal stuff. This is the epitome of like the big Kickstarter with 1 billion different things you can get if you backed it. But Black Plague really steps things up. They have nice little character card trays and things started to get nice with the kind of components. And then even further with this, we use an app that basically is your player aid for you, and everything's done digitally, including if you wanted to, you could roll dice digitally. We usually roll the physical dice, but all of our cards, all of our stuff, our stats and everything is done digitally, and it keeps all the bookkeeping super neat. And also there's less stuff on the table because there's a ton with all of the minis and things. It takes up enough table already without having to add in cards and player aids and stuff like that. So do play with that digital companion app if you play Zombicide. It makes life really sweet and easy. So moving on, we got a couple of blue-orange game products here. We have this first one, which was given to us by Missy. Thank you, Missy, for that. And this is called Slide Quest, the video game board game. And it really does kind of feel like that. This is a very fun, light, silly dexterity game that is good to play with like kind of the whole family. Because in it, it's like those old labyrinth things, like that had the wooden kind of surface. And you had the little twisties on the side, and you'd kind of make it change its pitch and all that. And then the marble would roll around. You try to avoid falling into holes. It's exactly that, but with a little bit of theme on top of it and having like little missions. So you have your little knight here who is like a little figure that's on top of a marble that will kind of float around. And you have these levers on the sides, and as you push down a lever, it will raise up a kind of one of the sides of your box, the little tray here in the middle, and cause your person to start sliding around. So the thing that's really fun is this kind of takes you through like the early levels of a video game, where it sort of takes you through a tutorial. The first thing, all you gotta do is there's like a little path here. They say stay on the path, follow the path. So you get to learn like how to manipulate the board. And there's a couple holes you can fall into. And there's a couple of obstacles and things you got to go around, and a gate you have to go through. So there's things like that where it starts leveling you up, where all of a sudden now there's a piece of dynamite. If the dynamite tips over, you blow up, you have to start over again. So you got to be careful of that dynamite. You can push it, but you don't want to tip it over. So you're like, okay, we got to watch out for this dynamite, blah, blah, blah. In addition to the holes and staying on the trail and going through the gate. And then they start introducing, now there's enemies. And you got to go around and push the enemies into the holes. You want the enemies to fall in the hole, but you don't want to go into the hole. And up and up and up, where we were playing the first early levels. We're like, man, this is really easy. It's like, it's a family thing. Like, let's just jump to like level 20. And got absolutely destroyed. Could not do it. Absolutely failed. So I was like, okay, this actually does get up to a like decent level of difficulty. But this is just a fun light game that's like, again, perfect for families because you have like that dexterity. You could do it with 4 different people and each control one level. You could do it with 2 and each control 2. So they offer kind of different challenges, and it's super cute. And you can even save your progress and come back to it later. So this is a game that I'm just like so tickled by. It's just one we'll play every so often just to kind of laugh for 10 minutes, and I play it with kids and stuff sometimes. And it's just awesome. And it does kind of feel like a video game because you have different levels that get harder and harder and introduce new elements kind of one piece at a time, like a tutorial for a board or a video game rather would do. So it's very cool. Now, this last game is one I finally got to play this weekend after Nick had raved about it for quite some time. It's called Detective Club, again by Blue Orange Games. So, this is a social deduction game. It's a game of hidden clues and subtle conspiracies. So, this is a really radical jumping right up there to the top social deduction, find the hidden traitor type game. In this game, we are going to be given 6 cards each, however many people are playing. And they're kind of like Dixit cards. I don't know off the top of my head if it's the same artist or not, but they're kind of those trippy dream type cards. Are nonsensical, very beautiful, incredible art in this. Like all of those games, the card art is just like bonkersville good. So all these kind of nonsensical, weird, odd cards. You can kind of see some examples here on the front. And on the back here, my favorite is this person. I got to play them. It's a cactus sheriff riding a pillow, and he ain't here to take nobody's BS. And so you're going to be given these cards, and each round there's going to be kind of a lead investigator who is based on their own cards in their hand. They're going to kind of look and say, okay, between these 2 cards, I can come up with a 1-word clue. They want to put a 1-word clue that they think they can communicate with their 2 cards. And then you have pads of paper, and you're going to write that 1-word clue on every pad of paper but one. One will remain blank. Then you shuffle them up, you pass them around randomly, so not even they know who the potential spy is going to be, the conspirator. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get your pad of paper, and it's either going to have a 1-word clue or nothing on it. But then that lead investigator is going to play 1 card out. Now, if you have the clue, you're going to be able to make sense of that card, maybe. And be like, okay, I see that, the word is limb. Okay, well, that thing has like kind of long tendrils. They look like limbs of an octopus. Maybe I get it. I'm in the know. Now, if I'm one of the detectives and I have the clue, I want to make sure my investigator knows I'm on the level. So I need to play cards now from my hand that are going to show the investigator, like, I'm with you, I'm on the level, I'm cool. And if you're the kind of spy person, I say spy because we kind of relate this to Spyfall, and it feels like it's definitely the replacement for Spyfall. This is why we absolutely called Spyfall. If you're the spy, if you're the person who does not belong, you are like desperately trying to look at other people's cards and put a card down that you think, whether or not you know the clue, and maybe you can start to put together a theme or something based on these cards. You're like, I need to put down a card that at least blends in a little bit. So they're going to go around, everyone puts down 1 card. Then the investigator puts down a 2nd card. Everyone puts down a 2nd card. Then the investigator reveals what the clue was, and we go around the table, and everyone explains why their cards make sense for the clue. So the reason we love this game so much, and I'm going on and on at this point, is that social deduction's tough when the spy has too little information to do anything with, and it's too hard to hide. Sometimes it's just like immediately people are like, well, like if you're in Spyfall and you get asked the first question, or you are the first person that needs to ask a question, like you're in trouble. That's really tough to do. In this one, it's a little easier to blend in because those cards are kind of nonsensical. Like, anything can probably make sense. In fact, I got fooled a couple times very convincingly by someone who played cards that didn't really make sense, but the way they explained it, like, I was like, wow, you just are playing a deeper level. And he was like, I'm the spy. You don't even know. I'm deeper than anyone thinks. But the cool thing is here is you have those cards to go off of, so you can at least play a card that looks kind of like the other cards. If there's a lot of water out there, play something kind of watery, okay, until you know more. And you do 2 rounds of that, and then the thing I really love, the thing that is absolutely key, is the investigator, after those 2 rounds, reveals the clue. So if you're sitting there and you don't know where in the order you might be the first one, but at least you have a couple seconds to say, like, oh, it was glue? Okay. Glue comes in jars off it, and so these have glass, and that's the glass jars, and that's obviously why my thing is right. It had to be Cactus Sheriff guy. That's just what makes sense. It's glue, so you have some information, and it's up to you to scramble. And then you have the added thing of other people who are on the level had weird cards and didn't have anything that really kind of matched or fit. So it takes a lot of my favorite parts of like Dixit and Mysterium and stuff like that, and adds some social deduction in there and keeps it light so people can kind of hop in and hop out. This game is incredible. This game, for my money, kills a lot of other games. I don't need so many games because this covers kind of so many categories. So Detective Club is awesome, and I highly recommend you try it if you like social deduction games, or if you don't really like social deduction games like Nick, who does not like them. could not shut up about this game. Loved it so much because he was able to kind of hide, and there's ways to wiggle around, and this game sows suspicion just because cards are weird, and you're like, this is a weird card, man, and you are a good person, but you just look suspicious because your cards are weird, and I love those kinds of games. So anyway, that's enough about Detective Club, but I really wanted to talk about this one because I finally got to play it after Nick kind of hyped it up, and I was like, well, is this going to live up to it? And it absolutely did. It's incredibly fun, and it has amazing art. God, there's some sweet art. These games just need to keep coming out, these games with all the weird art, because it's a low-key just celebration of artists. I mean, like, there's just some of the coolest, most creative, bonkers stuff in here, like all of those games, and I love it. So, Detective Club by Blue Orange, do check it out. That is the end of the list this time for What's on the Shelf. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me go kind of on and on and on about Detective Club there at the end. Have you played any of these games? Do you have any of them on the shelf? Are you interested in the new Rococo? I'm probably going to get the new Rococo, and then but we have this one now, but I really want to see what that new art is. I'm just excited it's coming out. And Zombicide here will always have a place in our heart because it is a big piece. We, for a long time, had Zombicide, Catan, and Pandemic. Those were the three. It's one of the big three that got us to where we are, where we now have many things on the shelf behind us. So that is it for me. I think I hear the Roomba outside trying to attack me through the door. So I'm going to get out of here. Let me know your thoughts on these games. If you played them, if you like them, if you hate them, if you want to try them, put them all those in the comments below, and thumb this video up and give it a share if you don't mind. Again, I've been Mike of the Brothers Murph here doing some What's on That Shelf. Cheers, everybody. Peace. Roomba, get out!